She has guided C-suites and senior management through product innovation, regulatory approvals, and safety governance. Dr. Kaveri Rangappa.
So you have to uh, balance between a patient, an attender, and your technical skills. At the same time, you should have presence of mind, not to mention physical stamina.
That's such a powerful reminder that the board's real value often comes before the headlines, before the launch.
All I can say is the most important aspect of any organization or any product or innovation is to adhere to the rules and regulations.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. Today's guest has one of those rare careers that's hard to fit into a single sentence. Dr. Kaveri Rangappa is a medical doctor turned global strategist with over 2 decades leading in pharma, biotech, and healthcare life sciences across India, the US, and beyond. She has guided C-suites and senior management through product innovation, regulatory approvals, and safety governance. Worked with industry heavyweights like Novartis, Roche, and AstraZeneca, and even brought AI and machine learning into healthcare strategies before most people were talking about it. Now, as an independent director and strategic advisor, she blends clinical expertise, regulatory insights, and data driven thinking to help organizations grow and do it ethically. Dr. Kaveri, it's such a pleasure to have you here. How's your day been so far?
Good evening, Sunny. My day has so far been very good. It has been quite hectic, but fruitful. Nothing eventful though.
So, Dr. Kaveri, you have had such an interesting journey from medicine to global leadership roles and now to the boardroom as an independent director. Could you share how that path unfolded for you and some moments that really shaped the way you lead today?
Oh, that's an interesting question, Sunny. It's quite nostalgic and you're making me revisit my memory lane. But that's good because, I always believe that history defines our future path. So revisiting often will make me understand where I went wrong so that I can avoid my mistakes and also learn from my experience. So to answer this question, let me take you back to the India in 1990. That's when I just completed my pre-university and I was at the crossroads of choosing my career. And it was during that time when information was not easily accessible as it is today. And India was not as progressive in research and development as we are seeing now. And technology was in its infancy. So this is when I had to make a career choice. And in 1990s, the most popular careers that we had was medicine, law, or engineering. Of course, there were other careers, but these were the most popular ones. Although I was not inclined scientifically, but I had no choice because my father was an engineer and my mother was a doctor. And mathematics was not my cup of tea, so I had to choose medicine. And there I entered Bangalore Medical College in 1990. Um, from the beginning, I was never inclined towards science, as I mentioned. But then I had no choice, as I said, that just went through the 4 years. And after the completion of my house agency, I got a resident physician role at some of the big hospitals at that time in Bangalore. So during those days, like 4 years that I spent in emergency medicine, actually gave me a very good understanding of what patient care is. But I also realized that patient care is not for me. My thinking was more analytical, more strategic. And so I realized at a very early stage in my career that I have to enter into research. And as I previously mentioned, research was in its nascent stage in India at that time. So I decided to leave this country and move to USA to pursue master in public health. I was very fortunate that I worked as a graduate assistant while doing my public health, and that experience where I got to work on federally funded projects helped me to understand the rigor of research, the patience, the dedication that is required to make a research successful. At the same time, it also helped me to understand how we should think and what we should think when we are dealing with different stakeholders. And so I was able to easily blend into my first corporate assignment at AstraZeneca soon after my completion of MPH. And I was managing phase 4 trials. And during my entire tenure in pharmaceutical companies, I was able to lead global teams, interact with stakeholders, understand from key opinion leaders like where we have to take their opinions, put them into perspective, and where to balance that with the organization's mission and vision. So at the same time, I also became a very good problem solver. And all these qualities that I acquired during my 20 years of professional career helped me to seamlessly blend into the role of an independent director. Because as an independent director, what I realized is we should not only be accountable, we should be transparent and think strategically. So this is how my journey in pharma and medical sciences helped me to blend into a role of an independent director.
That's such a powerful journey, Dr. Kaveri. The way you have bridged two worlds, medicine and leadership, really shows how core values can transcend industries. And it's inspiring to hear how you have kept service at the heart of everything, no matter the scale.
Yes, in fact, my studies in USA helped me a lot because what I realized in USA was you need not have to come from one background to study in something different field. You can be a mathematician and work in public health because there is statistics component. So that interdisciplinary blend of knowledge and interaction with the peers helped me to prepare myself in the real world.
All right. So, continuing our conversation, Dr. Kaveri, as an independent director, you are often expected to bring both objectivity and deep industry insights to the table. So, how did your earlier roles in medicine, pharma, and healthcare strategy prepare you for making high stakes decisions at the board level?
So, as I mentioned, I was an emergency care resident for 4 to 5 years. I think my experience there actually groomed me pretty well. In the sense, the emergency room that you usually see in the movies and sitcoms is very different from the reality, because you have to deal with variety of cases with limited resources. On 1 second, you're dealing with a trauma case, the next, there is a cardiac case, and then a surgical emergency. So you have to have the presence of mind and clarity in thinking. And most importantly, the fundamentals should be good because you should make decision at a speed of a light because you're dealing with life and death, And at the same time, you are not only dealing with patients, you are also handling their attenders. The emotions are high. So you have to uh, balance between a patient, an attender, and your technical skills. At the same time, you should have presence of mind, not to mention physical stamina. So my experience during this time taught me how to become adaptable to different scenarios, how to make bold decision, ask brave questions, but relevant questions. So as there is a saying, a doctor must have a lady's finger. That is, you have to be very soft, at the same time a lion's heart to take a bold decisions, and an eagle's eye, observation. So all this, the lessons that I learned during this 4-5 years, I have carried it to the present. And during the entire 20 years of my career, I have adhered to the principles that I've acquired during my earliest years in my career as an emergency physician. And that is how I was able to successfully lead teams in a pharma company, working with global teams, spanning continents and different cultures. And that is how I am able to navigate the complication and the intricacies of an independent director with precision.
Absolutely, Dr. Kaveri. And that blend of precision from medicine, scale from pharma, and vision from strategy really paints a picture of why your boardroom perspective is so unique. It's not just about decisions, it's about the discipline and empathy behind it.
Yes, because I think empathy at the same time, we should be tough because the organization is dependent on your decision. We just can't be, we can't be deviating from our principles and what we have to ask. And as I said, it is not important to ask analytical questions. It is important to ask brave questions because you're dealing with executives who are managing the day-to-day operations. So you have to ask relevant, and you have to be harsh at times to get the answers, to see that the board is moving along without any, hurdles.
Absolutely. Rightly said, Dr. Kaveri. All right. So, continuing our conversation, Dr. Kaveri, you have guided organizations through product innovation, regulatory submission, and ESG alignment. From your perspective, what is the most critical stage in a product or project where strong board oversight can truly determine success?
Having led some of the teams and also made some critical decisions and played a pivotal role in launching some blockbuster drugs into the market, all I can say is the most important aspect of any organization or any product or innovation is to adhere to the rules and regulations and laws, because this can make or break a product. Because so much of resources goes into into research and clinical trials and bringing that product to the market. And the last thing you want is a governing bodies telling you your product does not adhere to the rules. That could be devastating, and it can have a wide-ranging consequences. It can tarnish the reputation of an organization. The public might lose its faith in the organization, and once that happens, it's very difficult to regain that faith. So what I say is, from the beginning, we should make sure that at every stage, the rules, the regulations, and the legal binding is met, so that we are on track with our product launches or services that we are providing. Throughout my career, I have constantly interacted with the regulatory team and legal team to make sure that we don't miss out any, or we don't deviate from any loss. Because fixing it at a very early stage is easy than at a later stage. Because you have read reports or seen on television so many products being removed from the shelf. You don't want that to happen after spending years and money and time and everything into bringing that product into the market or launching that service. So for me, as an independent director or as a board member, I would ensure that the organization is strictly adheres to the rules and regulations of the governing bodies, whether it's global or regional. So that is what is of paramount importance to me.
That's such a powerful reminder that the board's real value often comes before the headlines, before the launch, in those quiet moments, but critical moments when
Yes.
tough questions can change the entire trajectory of the project.
Yes, I completely agree with what you say, because uh, you don't want anything wrong happening at the last minute, so that is something which is not good, and it can be morally, how do I say, it's not even demotivating. So yeah, that is what I feel, that too, with the nowadays, every day you get this new rules, new laws, and so it's very important that we follow it and take the opinion of the concerned authorities, like regulatory. You have a regulatory team, you have a legal team. You take and have the subject matter opinion where required to make sure we are on the right track.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. Kaveri. So, talking about technology, Dr. Kaveri, you have always been an advocate for integrating emerging technologies such as AI and predictive analytics into healthcare governance. So, what do you see as the greatest opportunity these tools present for boards today? And what safeguards must be in place?
Let me answer this question with a personal anecdote. Recently, one of my close friend went for a routine screen to an artificially intelligence aided health clinic. To her surprise, there was an inconspicuous small lesion found in her mammogram scan, which could have gone unnoticed had it been a routine scan. So she was proactive, followed it up with a biopsy, and fortunately, it turned out negative. That's a different story. But what I want to emphasize here is the advance in the technology and the power of technology that we have now, which we didn't have when I was growing up. So, why not harness that potential to the best capacity? Of course, there are people who misuse them. You see a lot of reports, about people misusing this technology. That is not for us. Let us use this technology in a forward way, in a progressive way. And it does not actually take away the job. Rather, it complements a human being, because at the end of the day, the analytical thinking, the decision making is humans. What the technology does is it helps you in your decision making. We should understand this. It should not take away the jobs. It should complement a workforce. So, uh, and at the same time, we should also make sure that the emerging technology that we want to bring into the organization is in alignment with the governing rules and regulations like HIPAA and the GDPR of Europe and all. I'm talking about HIPAA because I come from a healthcare background, but there are other such rules for every sector. So we have to make sure that that is in place. So, as a board member, what I would say is I would definitely encourage organization to inculcate this emerging technology into their routine and not to delay this, because the technology is advancing at the speed of light. So it's very important that you bring in this into your organization, because it actually makes life easier if used properly. But to safeguard that we are on the right path, we have to make sure that we are aware and cognizant of the recent rules that comes with the emerging technology. So as a board member, I would ensure that we are always on track with the advancement that is happening in the emerging technology, so that we can understand which technology to bring into the organization. At the same time, make sure that the safeguards like regulatory regulations are in place, so that it is blend into the organization seamlessly, and we don't have to revoke that technology that has already been implemented in an organization. So this is most crucial for me.
Dr. Kaveri, I love how you frame AI not as a silver bullet, but as a responsibility. The idea that it's only as powerful as the governance behind it really lands.
Yes, there is no escape with the AI now. It's everywhere. So it's omnipresence and omnipotence. So we need to accept it.
Absolutely. And that balance of innovation and ethics is something every boardroom needs to hear right now.
Yes. Yes. I
Great.
agree.
Great. All right. So, Dr. Kaveri, let's switch gears for a moment and do a quick rapid fire round. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind instinctively, no overthinking, nothing as such. So,
Sure.
go ahead.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, here I shoot you with the first question: morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Okay, expected. Tea, coffee, or something else entirely?
Coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Black coffee or with milk?
Milk. Filtered coffees.
Okay, great. A book you have read recently and enjoyed?
About Angela Merkel. Biography by Angela Merkel. Freedom. It's called Freedom.
Amazing, amazing choice. Okay, moving on to the next question. If you could instantly master a skill outside of your profession, what would it be?
Cooking.
Cooking?
Yes.
Okay. Any particular cuisines to look for?
Italian.
Okay, great. Amazing, mouth-watering. All right. So, one city you could visit over and over again.
Japan.
Japan. Wow, what a choice.
Yes.
A movie or series you have watched more than once.
The Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful mind, beautiful, amazing picture. What an incredible,
Yes.
it's actually a masterpiece.
Classic.
Classic, true. Okay, sweet or savory snacks?
Depends on my mood.
Okay. All right. So heading to the last question of the rapid fire round, and it goes this: if not in healthcare or governance, what other career could you see yourself in?
Musician, although my voice does not sound like a musician.
I love that answer. Oh, fantastic. That was fun. That was fun. Okay, so that was rapid fire round. Moving on to the next segment of questions. So, Dr. Kaveri, in healthcare and pharma, when scandals happen, whether it's manipulated clinical data or questionable inducements to doctors, the impact goes beyond fines or bad press. It shakes patient trust and puts entire board under the scanner. And we have seen high-profile cases globally and in India where products were pulled, reputations destroyed completely, and leadership questioned. So, what I'm trying to ask you is, given your journey across medicine, pharma, and governance, how can boards realistically guard against these risks? And part B of my question is it mainly about tightening systems, or does it come down to shaping the right culture from the top?
That's a very interesting question, Sunny, that you asked, because we are living in a very interconnected world, and from my experience and perspective, I think both are very important, the culture and tightening the system. Because what I would say is uh, different cultures bring in different perspective to the same problem. For example, Japanese are known for their integrity. So they make sure that the rules are met when solving the problem. Similarly, a person from a different background will come in with the same perspective. So having this collective culture will actually help in solving a problem that we have at hand. So I would say that the top level executive, the decision makers, the workforce of a decision maker or that team must comprise of diverse background. And this diversity should trickle down the organization. Because I have seen and I have personally and professionally experienced how this diverse culture will help in smoothing things out, in mitigating risks, and in ultimately in the successful launch of a product or a service. An organization must be proactive and not reactive. This is what I would say. So it's not only the culture, we have to tighten the system in a way that we have to identify the gaps in the system earlier on, constantly monitor it, revisit it, so that we identify, rectify, and close the gap before it becomes too late. So as a board member, I would definitely make sure that the gaps are identified, monitored, and rectified quickly or without any procrastination, so that the organization is in compliance with the governing authorities. So this is what I would say to all potential and prospective independent directors, that when you are at the helm of that organization, then make sure the systems are vigilant, they are in compliant with the rules and regulations, both regional and global. At the same time, make sure that the decision makers come from different background, so that pragmatic thinking is passed down the organization.
Perfect. Perfect, Dr. Kaveri. And it's rare to hear someone speak so openly about the boardroom's responsibility beyond just profits. That balance you described between speed and integrity, diverse cultures, I think every industry struggles with that.
Yes. For me, as a board member or an independent director, a profit is secondary. It's important. It's crucial. Profit is crucial, but that's not all. There are other things which can make an organization successful, because nowadays we are living in a social media age, where even a small reputation, if it goes haywire, it can have a far-reaching consequences. So the reputation of the company is not just measured by profits. There is a different angle to it. And as a board member, I will definitely ensure that the reputation of an organization is intact, and do everything in my capacity to make sure that we adhere to the MOA and AOA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Kaveri, you have recently been part of Directors Institute community. From your perspective, What has been the most valuable aspect of that experience? And how has it supported you in your role as an independent director?
Being a part of a Directors Institute is not only an honor, but has been a very transformational journey for me, because I have interacted and met some amazing people, have interacted with them, and having that peer-reviewed discussions has really enriched my experience and has added valuable lessons in my portfolio. So I enjoy the community part of the Directors Institute. You have people from all backgrounds working in different industry, different sectors, and you never know from which industry what idea you can take and incorporate that into your industry or the problem that you have at hand. So as a board member and an independent director, being a part of this community has given me practical knowledge, the real life knowledge of my colleagues, of my peers. Their insights is priceless. So this, in my opinion, the community has been the most enriching and invaluable experience for me as part of the Directors Institute.
That's such a refreshing way to look at it. Not just as a learning space, but as a place to test and stretch yourself.
Yes, I agree with you, because this is where you can actually stretch and be yourself. Ask any problem that you have and you get an answer. So yeah, I'm enjoying, and I enjoyed, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy in future also being a part of this community.
Great to hear that. Great to hear that. And let me tell you, Dr. Kaveri, this has been an insightful and truly engaging conversation. Your
Likewise,
journey,
I enjoyed it.
yes, from your journey in medicine to your leadership across global organizations, and now your role as an independent director, you have given us a clear picture of how expertise, governance, and ethics come together to create real impact. And I really appreciate the way you have shared practical lessons, whether it's integrating ESG thinking into decision making, navigating complex risk, or preparing for the boardroom with the right mindset.
Sunny, it's been a very enriching experience for me also, because you made me go back to my past, the present, and what I can and how I can shape my future. So it's not just a pleasure on your part. It has been a I'm having a very nice conversation, and I had a nice conversation with you as well. So yes, the pleasure is both ways. It's likewise.
Dr. Kaveri, thank you once again for sharing your time, your experiences, and your vision with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to our audience, I hope today's episode inspires you to look at leadership as a continuous journey of learning and perspective. This has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and lead with purpose. Thank you so much.